Welcome back to Campus House. I'm Krista Constantino.
And I'm Nate Marizio.
And as you may have seen, we've changed our location.
Yep.
We're in the kitchen today. We've decided to swap spots with Chef Sue, and we're going to do a great job of making a delicious meal for you this afternoon. Nate decided that I could make a wonderful spinach pici pasta, which I got to enjoy this holiday season. My brother shared the recipe with me. We got to spend time in the kitchen making the pici pasta, which actually doesn't take very long at all, while we cooked a 7-course Christmas dinner. So there are only 2 ingredients in this recipe for the base of our dough ball, which is actually a pasta that we're going to create. And what we're going to do is we're going to measure our ingredients using this wonderful tare scale. I'm going to turn it on. It'll measure about 0. We will add our wonderful container and then press the button, go ahead, Nate, to even it out so we can get the measurements of our ingredients without using the weight of our container. So this recipe actually calls for a 2 to 3 ratio. So for every 200 grams of spinach, we're going to have 300 grams of flour. All right, so we measured it out, and luckily we had 170 grams through our Wegmans bag of baby spinach. So we had to do a little mathematics, and we ended up with 255 grams of our flour. Thank you, Nate, for your wonderful measurements. Our first step is obviously to measure the ingredients. Our second step is to combine them in a RoboCoupe. And what we want to do is add both of them in at the same time. Go right on ahead, Nate. Well, they can be added in, yes. You don't have to wait for one or the other. We're not going to turn it on until both ingredients are in the RoboCoupe.
We're learning.
Fantastic. So what's really neat about this pasta is it doesn't have any dairy, obviously, with the 2 ingredients. You don't see us using any water. The water content of the spinach is so high that it's actually not necessary. So what's going to happen after we combine these 2 ingredients is we're going to mix it, pulse it, blitz it, and it'll create a dough that to the touch should be like Play-Doh. So while Nate is wearing his gloves right now, after we mix it, we'll have to wash our hands and find out if the texture is to our liking or if we have to add a little bit more flour. So once we have our ingredients in the RoboCoupe, we're going to secure it and we're going to turn it on, and we're going to blitz the ingredients until they become a dough-like ball, which is sticky to the touch. If we need to add more flour, we do that at the end and then blitz it again real quickly.
If you think it looks like art, that's because food is art.
If you think it smells like pasta, it's because it's made with flour. And pasta is made with flour.
That is a fun fact. Definitely looking doughier now. Krista, what's this pasta called again?
It's a pici pasta.
Pici pasta?
But it's a spinach pici pasta. So pici pastas can be made differently, but this one has the main ingredient, maybe second main ingredient as spinach. the water content. And sometimes you'll find when you're making it that maybe you need to add just a little bit more water. I think the description of a Play-Doh consistency really is what you're looking for. I don't know if these children of the 2000s know what Play-Doh is, Nate.
I think that children of the 2000s know what Pickle Ricks are.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you want them to be the size of like mini pickled Ricks?
Pickle Rick.
Or gherkins, which are a type of pickle.
Pickle gherkin?
Gherkins are a style of pickle. They're smaller. They usually go on relish trays. Do you know?
Like sweet pickles.
Nope. It's called a gherkin.
Oh.
Are you familiar with relish trays?
Man down. Oops. No, yeah, relish tray, yeah.
And can you explain to the students what a relish tray is?
I think it's a tray full of an assortment of relishes.
It's not.
Oh, man.
I know, good try. So relish trays were actually popular, I would say, in the 80s when people would go to other people's houses and they didn't know what to bring. Before the whole text messaging of what can I bring to your dinner party, people would just bring over relish trays, and they were an assortment of maybe pickled vegetables, not pickled Ricks, but pickled vegetables, and then maybe just regular vegetables on the side. And gherkins were always a part of that, especially in the Polish households.
Fun fact. You know what they say? If you're not learning, you're not living.
Oh, I thought they said the more you know. Phew.
Oh, yeah, they do say the pew one, too.
Well, Omar Epps is not here to help us out with that. So I washed my hands right before I started working with this dough. I noticed that you're wearing gloves, and if you wouldn't mind showing everyone out there, that the gloves are turning green.
Hardly. It's just a reflection of the Pickle Ricks.
Well, it's probably because you just changed your glove recently because you're being very safe.
The safest. You know what they say. Safety first.
They say a lot of things. You seem to know everything they say.
I listen a lot.
Well, you know what they say. The more you listen, the better you hear.
All right. Should we show what these things look like on the tray a little bit?
Please.
Okay. We can see who works faster. These are Krista's 4 and my plethora of, what's it? Pinto?
Pici.
Pici pasta.
Pici pasta. P-I-C-I.
Pici pasta pickle Ricks here. All right.
It's not about speed.
No, it's about
Consistency.
Yeah. And then when you're cooking these, how long you boil them, right?
So we're going to blanch them for about 90 seconds, and after we do that, we're going to saute them with a little olive and garlic powder. You could use garlic cloves as long as they're crushed and minced. And then what we do is we're going to serve them with some delicious cheese. All right, since you've done such a great job, Nate, of creating so many of the Pici pasta pieces, well, that's an alliteration if I ever did hear one.
Swell.
We're going to take them over to the wine.
Okay,
Great.
here we go.
Awesome. So now that we have our pasta rolled out, what we're going to do is we're going to add it to our boiling water. And it's not quite a rolling boil because if you think about it, none of our ingredients are raw. We did not use any eggs or anything. So we're going to take our pasta, throw it into our pan, and we're going to let it cook for about 90 seconds. While that's happening, we can turn on the heat for our saute pan. There's a little bit of olive oil in it. Get that nice and heated and ready to go. What we're going to do after we end up plating our dish is we're going to add our pecorino romano cheese and a little bit of olive oil and lemon if you want a little kick or a little brightness to it. So as we can hear, the water is starting to boil. The pasta really isn't going to rise to the top. It's a little bit more dense, but we do want it cooked a little through. You'll notice the color of your water changing to a nice green from the spinach. So then we'll have Nate use our neti thing.
Sue would definitely know what this is called.
Yep. take it out and transfer it right into our hot saute pan.
You don't like hibachi?
Excellent. So because we have the hoods on and everything's ready to go, we can turn off the boiling water.
Straggler.
The color of the pasta has become a little bit more darker in depth. Green, kind of shaking it around. What we're going to do from here is we're going to take it over and plate it. And then we're going to use the plane and add some cheese. Alright, excellent. Shred some beautiful cheese all over that fresh pasta. Bon appetit.